Really glad to be here today. Just like to open up with a word of prayer. Father, thanks so much just for who you are. Thank you for your son, for life, for breath in our lungs, Lord God. Thank you for letting us come to just learn of you, Father. Let my words honor you and glorify you and point to you and bring truth, Father. Just let your will be done during this time. We love you. In the name of Yeshua Messiah, we pray. Amen. Okay, so today, I'd just like to walk through a little bit of learning that I've had on the word and concept of shalom. So let's begin let's begin in the beginning, I suppose. So in Genesis 1, what we see is the world dark and formless and void, right? And we see this chaotic world in verse 2 of Genesis 1. And what we see is God, through a series of 6-7 days, creating this dark, formless, chaotic place into a place that is full of life, full of life and able to sustain life in a beautiful place, a good place. So through a series of 6 days, we see God taking what is chaotic, dark, broken, all this stuff, and making it into a life-filled place. And we don't see the word of shalom here, the word of peace or shalom in this passage, but we see it conceptually. God taking what is broken and disordered and making it whole. So let's look at the word shalom itself. It is shalom, which is commonly said as peace, but shalom, the Hebrew, if you want to look it up in Strong's, it's H7955. The word means in and of itself as completeness, soundness, welfare, and peace. It is usually translated as peace, but it's truly not just like the absence of war, but it's usually means something greater, replacing that state of disorder and chaos and war. It's a better thing, replacing it truly. Let's look at a few examples of how it's used throughout the scriptures. In Joshua 8:31, it's talking of creating an altar to the Lord, and it says that the stones that are need to be used for this altar are said to be shalom stones or whole stones without crack or without blemish. So they're whole stones. So we're just right now building the idea of what shalom means. So they're whole stones without crack or blemish. Another place where we see shalom is a wall without a stone missing. So if we see a brick wall, full brick wall, and we see a couple of these bricks missing from the wall, that wall would not be in shalom. It would be out of shalom. But if it has all the bricks within it, it would be in a state of completeness, a state of wholeness, right? So it would be in shalom. In Job 5, Job speaks of his tents being in shalom, his house being in shalom, when all of his flocks are there and accounted for. So if his flocks were missing, once again, he would be in a state of, it wouldn't be complete, it wouldn't be whole, and he would be, his tent and his home would be out of shalom. But since everything is there and in order, it is in shalom. So when the Hebrew word of shalom is used in a greeting, so when the Jews say shalom, they say this word as they're asking shalom, and they're asking truly, what is your state of being? How are you whole? You know, that's kind of the ask for when you're saying shalom or greeting somebody with shalom. It's almost a blessing of like, I wish on you well-being and wholeness and completeness as well. So life is complex, like a brick wall. When one brick is out of place, it threatens to throw the whole wall into disarray. When anything is out of place, you're no longer in shalom, no longer complete or whole. There's a need for restoration. Let's look at the root word of shalom. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it. If you look in Strong's, it's H7999. Yep. It's salam. I believe that's how to pronounce it. Salam. It means to pay, to restore, to repay. It means to amend or make restitution. So you see this word used again and again in the law codes, like in Leviticus and Exodus, in reference to restoring something that has been essentially made unwhole, right? So in Exodus 22, it says, if a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills it or sells it, he shall restore or bring salam 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So he will restore back to wholeness what has been taken away. Likewise, the one who takes the life of an animal shall make restitution, shall restore it, life for life. That is in Leviticus 24:18. And then also we see it relationally as well, restoring relationships. So when a person's, and this is in Proverbs 16:7, when a person's ways are pleasing to the Lord, he causes even his enemies to salam, to make peace, to restore with them, right? So so shalom is making peace with those who are your enemies with, whose your relationship is skewed, it's not complete, it's not whole. So that would be another understanding of what shalom is. It's not just, once again, absence of war, but it is now complete and whole together. It's a restored relationship at that point. So this is the groundwork of what shalom is. However, this is not the way that humans have lived throughout history. The people of this world, I myself, have not made shalom, but rather the opposite. I bring disorder, chaos, and death because I choose to make myself complete by taking from and destroying others. And that's just that's the human condition. We try to make ourselves complete, build ourselves up, complete our wall by taking the bricks from other people's walls, right? We try to tear down to build ourselves up. So now let's look at let's point to Jesus, because that's why we're all here. We all love that guy. So let's look at Yeshua. And look at some stories that point to Yeshua. So in the story of Genesis 14, we see the king. We see this character, this vague character that we always wonder about, Melchizedek. Melech and Zedek is the name of is his name, and it's like a compound word. So Melech is king and Zedek is righteousness. So Melchizedek is the king of righteousness. And the king of righteousness, it says that so Melchizedek is the king of Salem, which is the king of peace. He is the king of Shalom, right? So Melchizedek, the king of righteousness, is also the king of peace. So the king of righteousness is also, once again, he is also the priest of God Most High. And he is said to be the ruler of Shalom, the one who brings wholeness and completeness. And later on in the New Testament, we see that Yeshua is said to be a priest in the order of Melchizedek. He is a king of righteousness that brings peace through his rule and reign. Also in Isaiah 9:6-7, we see it says, for a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace. There will be no end to the increase of his government or of peace, so shalom, on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and righteousness from then on and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of armies will accomplish this. So this is who the promised Messiah is supposed to be. He is supposed to be a king of shalom, a king of peace, bringing wholeness and completeness with his reign. He restores all that has been broken in his reign of shalom. And this is the expectation of Yeshua when he walks onto the scene. When Yeshua is born, he is announced as the arrival as Shalom, of Shalom. In Luke 2:14, it says, glory to God in the highest heaven, and shalom on earth to those with whom God is pleased. He is trumpeted in, announced with shalom. The angels are shouting shalom, and it is an announcement of shalom to when he is born. In John 14:27, Yeshua says that Shalom, I leave you. My shalom, I give you. He says, my peace, I leave you. My peace, I give you. So this shalom, this completeness, this wholeness, this restoration of relationship that he has with God. Not only, it's just, this restoration that he has with God. He says he leaves it with us. His shalom that he has, he gives to us. He is the King of righteousness, the Prince of peace, the Prince of shalom, and he leaves this with us. In Luke 8:48, there's a story of the woman who suffered from bleeding for 12 years. When she touches the corner of Yeshua's shawl, she is healed, and he turns and finds her. He says to her, my daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in shalom. So this word, once again, go in shalom, go in completeness. She has been completely restored from the 12 years of brokenness that she has experienced. Another story in Luke 7:50, we see another woman who is called a sinner. And she came and washed Yeshua's feet with her tears and with her hair and anointed his feet with perfume. Yeshua says to her, your sins have been forgiven. Your faith has saved you. Go in shalom. So Jesus is just out here, slanging shalom. He's just giving it out to everybody, essentially, and restoring people from their broken conditions, from their broken states, lifting them up and pushing them forward in this complete and whole state now. In the letters, we see Paul saying that we have shalom with God through Yeshua Messiah. We have this peace. We have this completeness now because of Jesus. In Ephesians 2:14 and 15, it says, Yeshua is our shalom. He has made us whole and has made us able to now bring shalom to our lives and to the world. The teachings of Jesus says in Matthew 5:9, he says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. He says, blessed are those who bring shalom and now make shalom in this world, for they shall be called sons of God. Yeshua has now called us to make whole the things of the world that are broken and in disorder. He says that when we do this, we'll be called sons of God, ones who are like God and his way of creating order and peace out of chaos. Once again, we see in the beginning, God creates peace, God creates shalom, God creates completeness out of a world that is in disorder and chaos. And this is now what he is calling us into, to go to wherever there is disorder, wherever there's chaos, wherever there is incompleteness, and make it whole. This is our call as peacemakers, as shalom bringers. For myself, when I first learned of this concept, I had to examine each area of my life that was not whole or complete. Not only did it make me examine my spiritual life, but also like my physical life. I had to go clean my room, I had to bring shalom to the chaos that was in my room. And it's just like, that's a silly example, but I think it's an example of truly like looking at each of these areas, not just shalom in my own life, but shalom in my own space, in my own area, and I had to then even start to examine my interaction with other people, my interaction even with the world, and even started to think okay, maybe I need to be in shalom with recycling. It's like, it was just interesting. It's really made me to start to, how am I not in complete shalom, completeness, wholeness in every area of my life? And it made me examine and look and dig into that for each area of my life, and really start to try to dig and figure out where am I not complete in this world that I'm in. I've also used this example to share the gospel. I mean, if you guys are just looking for tools to share the gospel, I ask others how the shalom is. And then they say, what the heck is shalom? And I say, look at that brick wall, because it was really convenient. I had a brick wall. Look at the brick wall, and essentially just asked. I said, when the brick wall is full of bricks, there's no brick missing. It is in a state of shalom. And when there's bricks missing, it's out of shalom. So then I would ask, are there any bricks missing in your life? Are you not complete in some area of your life? And then the person I said it to, it was amazing. They said, yeah, I have about one brick right there, just floating there. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it was heart-wrenching, but I just pointed them at that point to, hey, there's a mason. There's one who brings shalom. There's one who brings completeness. There's one who can restore the bricks to your life in order to make you complete and to make you whole. So yeah, I would just encourage you guys to examine your lives, examine your own hearts, to find where shalom needs to be found and needs to be. It's Jesus, of course. You know, it's Yeshua that brings it. So lean into Him, fall on Him to find shalom. Thank you for letting me share today. Go out and make shalom in every area of your life.
So thank you so much. This is so good. I don't even think I could put into words all the ways that my brain is processing this. And I know throughout the day, I'm going to be looking at everything like, how can I bring shalom? And so I really appreciate the application part that you shared on the end. And I know what I'm thinking, but I would love to hear anybody else's thoughts. And I'm going to throw out, I normally say, you know, what is your takeaway or what stood out to you? But also I'm going to add, if there's something you know you need to be obedient to from what you heard today, you're welcome to share that as well. So maybe get a couple of people that would like to share. Now's the time.
I had a problem with my kids and stuff, and I didn't have peace with them. But recently, I have been Shalom and them. We've been coming together in peace, and it's really a great thing that you were talking about, because now I have peace with all my kids and grandkids, and it feels so good. I mean, it is so great, and I appreciate your, like you say, your testimony and everything, brother. I enjoyed it very much. Y'all have a peaceful day.
Thank you, Brother Credit. You always have something good. Anyone else like to share?
Seth, thank you for sharing about this. And I've studied Shalom, and having a different perspective on it is so cool. And the fact that you talked about how Jesus left that here for us to get, that we get the opportunity to do that, is really humbling, and that I need to be more aware of how I'm giving shalom, and then not taking somebody else's in order to build my own version of it. So really good stuff. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I was in on, I think one time you taught on it and I was in on it. I was like, oh shoot, I need to get her study notes so I can deliver mine. But thank you so much.
Oh, that's good. Now we'll have extra study notes. Seth, don't forget to send me your notes so I can pass them on to everybody. Is there anybody else? We'll get one more person that would like to share. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Can you hear me, Seth? Okay. Yeah, when you were talking about when Jesus was telling people, like, he was just slanging shalom, just telling people to go in peace and everything, it reminded me of that verse in Ephesians 6, where talked about the armor of God, in Ephesians 6:15, where it says, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, which is the gospel of shalom. And I was like, oh man, so that hit me. So that lets me know that God really, like, as we're going to be our feet is only to be used to share the gospel of shalom. Mm-hmm. And he showed the example when he was here on the earth. Everywhere he went, as he was going, he was sharing the gospel of shalom. So my mind just went back to that verse in Ephesians. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's good. Is it for? I can't hear you.
Oh, what about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all know what I was saying, because I say it every week. My email just in the chat box. I also put the link there to our YouTube channel. If you have not went on there and hit subscribe yet, do that so that you can be a subscriber to that channel, and we'll have that recording up there so that you can rewatch it. Always go back and rewatch so that you can hear even more things that you might have missed the first time. We're going to send the notes. We encourage you to study those notes and reteach it. We have an entire database of 15 minutes deep notes and recordings that we hope that you're using to study and reteach to others so that we can share this information. It's just a resource for you. So I want to encourage you to utilize that. But Seth, thank you so much for what you shared. It was so convicting, so good, so helpful. And we appreciate the work that you've been putting into it and studying. And y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. Invite a friend, and we'll see you next time on 15 Minutes Deep. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.